Hi everybody, Joshua here with the Heavypiano YouTube channel. Let's talk about how to play Elliott Smith's Bottle Up and Explode on the piano. So the first part which you just heard me play is the introduction. We're going to play B with no third, so just fifths. And then we're just going to bring the root up, make it a C diminished. There's no third again. I'll bring my right hand in for the next chord on C sharp minor. So you can see that voicing there. I'm going to move up to D sharp, like G sharp, C sharp, D sharp. So C sharp minor. And then we're kind of going to E. Or you could say A major 7 over E. These are all moved along, between pretty quickly. Then like an A sharp diminished chord, just down to basic A chord. And what I like to do is walk the bass down. And it's an E over G sharp, like an F sharp 7. You can make it suspended, just F sharp basic chord. And then when we're getting ready to jump into the verse, we have a G sharp major chord. So let me play all that slowly. You can watch the chords. B, C diminished, D sharp minor, I do that little trill sometimes in there. You can use it if you want or not. There's our G sharp chord, G sharp major chord, coming into our first verse on C sharp minor. A. Okay, so it is an E. A lot of times I played it E over G sharp. There's a G sharp major chord, A. And that's a big spread. If you don't have a big hand, so basically we're playing an F sharp 7 chord. The A. The E sus. I kind of like playing it over the 5th, over that B. We're going to do that much again. And then our Bottle Up and Explode is on B. And we're gonna kind of walk up B, C, and the bass note, the root note. D sharp minor. And again, I'm kind of walking through these chords, walking up C sharp, D sharp, E, A, E over G sharp. Again, it's basically suspended F sharp. And then we use that G sharp major chord again to transition to our next verse. So let me play it slowly with the chords. We'll play the verse 2, and I'm going to go a little bit lower my left hand this time. I'll keep playing it slowly. The chords are going to be the same, but if you look at my version, I kept it kind of around this range for the first verse, and the second verse I added a little more octaves, a little more depth and more motion, and I'll try to talk about that as I go. Here's nothing. You can play the little trill in there. So another thing, sometimes rather than just playing an octave in the right hand on the B, Bottle Up and Explode section, you can create a little bit of tension there by bringing one of the notes to E. Okay, so I'm starting to throw a little bit more rhythm in there. Some of the things I'm doing with the chord pattern are outlining my chords with a root, fifth, third. Let's see, especially. And again, I'm using some of the notes within the chord in the left hand, not to make it too blurred, but to add motion between my chords. So for that. I'm doing that kind of motion, the root, octave, fifth, but then I'm adding a ninth in there. So there on the, I'm playing E over G sharp, and then because the G sharp major chord, there's just a few different notes there, right? But I can, let's see here. So I can go to that B sharp, it's technically a B sharp, it's C natural basically, right? And then I can go back to the G sharp just to add a little bit of movement in my left hand. So it's accompanying and it's adding the rhythm and the motion within, and the melody is in the right hand. Sorry, there's a little bit of a stutter there. Let me try that again a little more smoothly. I wanted to say, so I'm also adding like some emphasis and some rhythmic notes in here as well. Let's see. So another, adding rhythm in there, movement in the left hand to move it forward to the next section. This repeated kind of pattern feels differently than, think about some of those patterns you do in the left hand and work on it more slowly, that's a little lighter than this. Doing a little trill F sharp to E. Maybe paying more attention to that suspended 4 to 3 on the F sharp. Let's talk about the solo. So there's one thing, there's a version I absolutely adore, and it's Brad Meldow's version, and I think it's, I don't want to put myself down, but I think it's more interesting from he's more of a jazz player than I am, right? And I wouldn't compare us necessarily, but he has some really cool runs in his version. So I wanted to take, but the solo I want to make it a little bit different. So the solo follows the first part of the verse chord progression, right? And one of the things I did on that C sharp minor, and then I went to A minor instead of A major, which I think is the same thing Brad Meldow does in his version. But I'm using that chord outline with the ninth, more or less. So left hand's playing a power chord, and then I'm on the E natural. So that's one of the rhythmic motives I wanted to use every time, or I wanted to at least do something like that and leading up into the solo. Another rhythm I was thinking and playing with and trying to use is like really driving home the idea of going from like really the difference is, here's our E over G sharp, here's our G sharp major to A. So we're doing these little steps, and I wanted to kind of drive them. The hearing that, I wanted to make it more emphatic in my playing. Okay, so the solo follows first part of the verse pattern. We come back to Bottle Up and Explode. Then we're just going to repeat E. I'm going to do E over G sharp. So A to E over G sharp to F sharp, G sharp major, right? So we're just going to repeat this. And what I did is I just repeated it about 3 times, and then the 4th time I changed the rhythm a little bit. But I'll go ahead and play that. And really pulling back. Maybe you don't want to make it that pretty. You know, it'll be a little bit different the way you play it than how I play it. So those are some of my thoughts about how to play Bottle Up and Explode on the piano by Elliott Smith. Hope you found it helpful. If you have any questions, leave them below. A big thank you to all my patrons on Patreon for sticking with me. It's been a long time since I've made a tutorial. I've had a lot of life changes, and I'm just trying to get back in the swing of things here. And keep the requests coming. As I find time, I'll try to get to your requests. But yeah, again, thank you to my patrons on Patreon, everyone else for watching, and hopefully finding these videos helpful. And I will catch you next time.